Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's do this. Hopefully I'm live. You guys can see me everywhere. I should be good to go. YouTube again with that lag on that preview. Anyway, today we're going to talk about tomorrow because that's how we roll. Today is Thursday as I'm recording that. Tomorrow's Friday. It's been that way my whole life. But the market is right in a curious spot. And I'm curious right now if anyone on YouTube can see me without any preview. Okay, so anyway. Wow, that really is. Anyway, let's rock and roll. Hopefully this isn't just now the intro, because if it is, YouTube sucks. All right, so tomorrow, as far as 0 days expiration, if you saw the title and thumbnail, I am going to break down the dollar, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P. Can I talk about the overall markets, what I think about tomorrow? Full disclosure. Fridays, I just don't really trade. I am 1 foot out the door into the weekend. Fridays, things characteristically, they just trade differently. A long time ago, I used to watch all my trades. I had an actual calendar, and I would just put a green X or a red X on there if I was profitable. And I would just have that image, and I looked back, and there was 1 month I was just red on all the Fridays. Green every day, red on Fridays. And I was like, well, I'm just going to cut that crap out because that sounds like nonsense. And it's worked out fine ever since. So I don't mind just not trading on there. All I'm doing basically is just managing plays. I come back in probably right before power hour, see if there's what I want to do over the weekend. Hang on. Ooh, this is Trend Trading Tribe. You've got to find a different tribe. No, I'm just kidding. That sounded bad. Whatever tribe you are in. It says, would love to hear anybody explain how the market rallied with a hot PPI and CPI. I would hate to break your heart, but that's just not why markets move up or down. All that is an excuse, which we are going to talk about because tomorrow, speaking of excuses, let's see. Tomorrow's excuse, we have nothing. I guess Michigan consumer sentiment. Probably not gonna do much. All this means red, right? Now they color codes for you: red, yellow, green. Green, nothing. Yellow, moderate. Keep an eye. Red, it's an excuse to move. It doesn't really matter what they say, to be honest. There's either gonna be more buyers or more sellers, depending on the algos and their parameters that day. That's the same question as why did earnings go up when they missed? Because that's just not what moves the market. It's just not how the markets work. It'd be really cool if markets would actually move on news. Like, hey, it's good news, the markets go up. Bad news, the markets go down. But that's fantasy land. Sorry to break your heart. Anyway, jumping right into just why 0 days expiration tomorrow just might pay out. I'm not typically a fan of these. Trading already gets called gambling enough. But this is what I would. And I guess gambling has that negative connotation to it. Technically, everything has risk, right? And people say this all the time, like, "Oh, getting in your car is a gamble." It is, but I would equate like what I do, getting in your car, versus 0 days to expiration, playing Frogger on the freeway. One's got a little bit more risk to it. But we are smack dab right in the middle of like 1.5 standard deviations, which means market makers are now on the playing field. There's you, there's the market movers, okay? The market makers are not out to get you, but tomorrow the market makers will be on the field. Because right now, they had everything delta hedged and accounted for right inside this range. So tomorrow they got to do some work. They either got to start buying stuff, delta hedging to get to that delta neutral, because right now they are not, or they rein it back in. Right, the excuses come out, the sellers kick in, brings it back. They go right here. Market makers didn't really have to do anything this week. They did, however, have to do a lot of stuff last week on that 1% chance that it actually happened. We went 3 standard deviations down. So hoping and praying, I guess, we get that take profit Friday and it does pull back. So I kind of have my eye on, if they're cheap, maybe like some 554 SPY puts. What you might consider, and I want to fully disclaimer this. This sounds way better on paper than it actually does in real life. When you actually try to make this thing work, a lot harder than it thinks. You need to have the real proper setup. Because I'm thinking right now, 554. If we make it to 553, that's $1 in the money, which means that contract is going to be worth $1. So if I could buy it at 20 cents, 10 cents, it probably won't be that cheap in the morning. If I can get it around there, hey, now we're talking. As long as we get to that $1 in the money, they rein it back to here or less, I'm golden. I say I'm golden because, taking the other side of this, we vacuum this thing up to 566, so I'd want to grab a 565. A 565 call. These are high risk. I guess you can say high reward. To me, they're not high reward. There's a lot of, you see the Instagram posts, call them Instagram trades. They're high reward because they're going in. Like they're going to buy 3,000 of these contracts for 5 cents, but they also hope to sell it for 10 cents, and then the market just sends it. We get that market melt up or melt down, and then they end up on Instagram because they're up 13,000%, something crazy. Someone just said Celsius powering me through the. Oh, okay. You know what that just reminds me of? Got one right here. It's not a Celsius, but it is a Monster, and that just brought joy to my life. It's how you know I have an addiction, and it's a real problem. But it's not a problem right now because I'm not out of stock. I have one right in front of me. It's a problem when you run out. Everyone knows that. Okay, so anyway. If you understand market makers and delta hedging, I have TikTok up, and I have a feeling a lot of those guys don't know about market makers. And when I say you guys don't know something, I'm trying my hardest to talk to the humans. Like I want to not talk down or talk above you. You just don't know it, and I don't know a better word to say it. So please don't ever get offended or take it that way, because I genuinely would just want everybody to succeed. But just know that I know you weren't born with this information. We gotta fill that gap somehow. Did I hear that we were getting magic internet money tomorrow? We better be, because one, I need the stock market to pull back. Let's just jump into this, because if Nvidia doesn't chill the F out right now, I have the 118 calls sold. That's my free internet money. I don't know if you guys noticed Nvidia, but apparently it's joining the S&P 500 and not Palantir. I don't know if you guys saw the chart or anything, but it's getting a little ridiculous. Anyway, are we clear on the 0 days to expiration? Why I kind of like that? Before I jump onto the stream, it's a term you can look it up. It's called boxing, where you physically fight a market maker, and if you win, you get all their shares. Just kidding. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? No. So boxing, right? You take a long and a short, and you put a stop on both, and you see who wins, right? In reality, if you try putting a stop on both, they'll both tag out. The volatility for that play to pan out, your stops need to be relatively tight. It'll wick down, wick up, and then go back the other way. You'll lose on both positions. It's very rare it'll just send it one direction, stopping out of your short and just keeping your longs. Which is why I want to just disclaimer it a lot. Playing both sides sounds really cool to people that have never done it before. And that's what I worry about coming on YouTube, is enticing people to get into trades. I'm like, hey, I'm going long and short. Send it, baby, and then everyone's like, man, that sounds amazing. Why doesn't everybody do that? And that's the question you should ask yourself, because there's a reason why. But because we're right in a very curious spot, we're right in the middle, it's kind of both. If you've ever done an iron condor, then you've noticed your puts have a lot of the juice, and your calls, you're like, I'm just taking it for the sake of it because it doesn't tie up any more capital, and I get an extra couple bucks. So the risk is definitely skewed. But this particular one we're kind of right there at that 50-50 mark. So if we get a melt up or melt down, that's going to pay out, and hopefully it's cheap if it does become a loser. Because if we just stay right here, then you lose on both sides. It's like literally taking a candle and a blowtorch to both ends and seeing which one melted off first is about all you're gonna have. There are multiple strategies on people like, well, I take 50% profit on one, and some people will stop out halfway on the other. I've heard 1,000 ways to do this. This is not something I do every day or every week, so that's not my wheelhouse to say if they're killing it or not. Me particularly, I think I'm going to, how I'll end up doing this is, let's say I buy a call and a put, starts to send it, I'll put my stop in the green, and that is an art in itself. I know. Hopefully that sends it, and I'm good. And when that tags out, hopefully we go the other way, and I'm good. I will keep both of these until the end. These are what I call risk and capital, 0 to hero. There's no stopping out option. There's none of that. It either makes me money or it doesn't. That's it. Um, Cody will get in trouble for elderly abuse if he boxes you. Okay. So what I talked about last night is kind of happening right now. If we don't get that take profit Friday, the market might as well be, if there is a poster child for the market, it's somebody in a straitjacket bouncing off the padded walls. 3 standard deviations down last week. Again, a 1% chance that actually happens. There is a 95% chance I guess we keep it inside of this. Numbers game, this should not be happening, let alone back to back. Yeah, now you go week after week after week after week. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, we draw these all the time. And half the time, I'm out here telling you guys like this, hey, that's not a support and resistance line. Do not trade it that way. This is where the market makers have, risk handicapped, I guess is the word. So don't trade at support and resistance. And oftentimes I have to disclaimer that because we just run up to there, fireworks are done, and we stop or we bounce right off it. I mean, like an absolute ping pong ball. But occasionally you break out, right? And you can catch maybe there is some unexpected news. I'm not saying all news is junk. Most of it's just an excuse to move volume around. Sometimes you just get that extra surpriser, So it sends it, catch the markets off guard. Next week usually prices in extra volatility, and we did that this week. Last week was nuts. The expected move, market makers went wide, and we are still exceeding that move. So how I would take that going into week 3, I'm so back and forth on, do I just day trade every day? Or do I sell absolutely every call and put outside of the expected move? Because what are the chances we go 3 standard deviations, 2 standard deviations, and then another 2 standard deviations? That's borderline on a gambler's fallacy, and we will. The second I say, like, hey, guys, I sold every option at 2 standard deviation, both calls and puts, we will exceed that like the S&P hit the jackpot at a slot machine. It'll be nuts. My luck is not good. If I didn't know how to trade, luck would not have it. I would blow my account quick. Market makers let the trainee post the expected moves the last 2 weeks. Yeah. They run out of power? Their generators didn't kick back on? They're like, nah, we'll toss them here and here. Throw some darts. All right. Kicking off to the stream. This is a weekly zone, this purple pink zone. This is the US dollar. I am so short this thing. Burn this thing to the ground. That is an absolutely fantastic look. That is what you call a bear flag, a bearish flag, a drop-based drop. It's all of them. It better be at least. So right now, 100% that is, you can call that a bear pennant. What I would be on the lookout for is if, now I am short, but I'm short a much higher time frame. Melt this thing off. A green candle's not going to scare me out. I would be on the lookout for this right here. We are going to cut rates, I think 25 basis points. I don't know who actually thinks 50 basis points, and maybe it's their first day. Maybe they're just new to the market. They don't know how things work. But, man, if we were to get a 50 basis point cut, you guys joke about shopping for Ferraris or Lamborghinis. I'm picking out islands. And I'm thinking about getting one of those cool ones, like a whole continent. I don't know which one yet, but that's what I'll do with it. That would be amazing because that would actually, if we did 50 basis points next week, any put would do. You could be short the dollar. You could be short literally anything, and you'll make money. Now, I am short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen. This is a monthly zone. We have all month for that to break. This thing could come down here and by the end of the month be back up here, and all that is a monthly zone actually holding. I tried to draw these arrows for the market makers so they understand where I'm coming from and to just follow the plan. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, you guys good? Chase, follow the plan. I spelled it out for you. It's Christmas colors. Make this thing red and green, and by red and green I mean just all red until Christmas. Pick one in a hot climate, not Greenland. Okay, I did actually right before this stream. I'm short US CAD, but I also did add on to it. So short in the zone, but I did add on to it right here. So melt that thing down too. Let's just go for it. Intel. Remind me to go over Intel when I'm done with these. Added twice. Yeah. Total, I have 3 in here. Bitcoin right now checking this this zone. We'll see. The past couple days we've kind of played the back and forth game right here. So we hit that zone. I'm trying to make it good for everybody on the mobile devices. Kind of hit that zone, sold off. Came back up, sold off. Hit this zone, got it bought right back up. Found some sellers, but testing it again. So I guess let's just check the 59 is going to be a psychological level. I'm sure someone's worried about. I would just worry about this whole zone right here. Getting above that, I think would be bullish, but to be honest, guys, I think Bitcoin's probably gonna be pinned until after the elections, at least. I guess here's your extreme lows and your extreme highs. I would, if I'm putting money on it right now, like someone says, hey, let's take a side bet and let's bet Chipotle. Does anybody want to bet me Chipotle? Because I'll do it right now. One person, first person to say yes. I bet between now and the elections, Bitcoin stays in these two blue zones. If you want to take that Chipotle bet, then you think it's going to exceed it. Cody was the first. Okay, Cody, if it breaks these blue zones, I'll buy you Chipotle. If it stays inside here, you owe me. Okay, Cody and Matt, because they're both my admins, and I get to tell them why I'm the teacher. I can take that up. All right, anyway. Enough joking around. S&P. Oh gosh, just sending it. This should have some of you guys on a little edge. This you go to rip your face off rally if you want. We're sending this thing. That was the biggest bear trap looking back I think I've ever seen. Talk about a stop hunt, get Winnie the Pooh excited, and then rip his face off. I don't want to get demonetized, but whoever did that to the Bears, you guys are cruel. Anyway, so this actually is a very bullish signal, I guess. I mean, buyers are in control. The ball is in the buyer's court. Everything about this is trending up. What has me nervous, again, is what I talked about last night, what I talked about at the beginning of this stream. We're outside the standard deviation again, week after week, back to back. That's a bit that's alarming, right? So most people, you guys are looking at the VIX thinking, oh, look, the VIX is high. And then you think something about that, right? Some of you guys are thinking the VIX is low and you should buy it. And be careful with those thoughts. But right now, I'm talking about volatility, and it has nothing to do with the VIX. I'm talking about you about to get wrecked because the market makers have no idea what's going on in this world. I don't think anybody does. Suck it, Matt the Bear. How many times is it going to get rejected? Daniel, are you talking about Bitcoin? If you say yes, I'll jump back out. Accumulation phase. Beyond charts, are we talking about Bitcoin? Accumulating Bitcoin? Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? Oh, SPY at 564. How many times is it going to get rejected? Hopefully we're going to reject it next week and not tomorrow. Man, I will say this. If we do hit 2 standard deviations, I will be short over the weekend. Don't let your confidence in me get you in a position you shouldn't be in, because everything about that is trending up. That is a knife catch. I catch knives all the time, like a circus freak. So I would catch that knife knowing full well come Monday morning, if we're just gapping and going again, it's just going to be a loss. It will not phase me in the slightest. Probably there's no way we just waltz right through that, though. So break down what he's talking about. Now, he's talking about SPY at 564. What I'm breaking down is the SPY futures contracts. This is what drives the order flow into the ETF of SPY, which is why I like to follow this, because this is actually what matters. SPY actually doesn't matter as far as like price action, stuff like that goes. So we hit that, meltdown. Hit this, meltdown, meltdown. We're not going to do it anymore? Just kidding, meltdown. This zone right here is actually pretty ridiculous. This looks like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are like, yeah, we agree. Let's just sell everything when we get up here. If we were to run into that right now, I mean just no pullback, no red, we just freight train our way right there, I would probably have more than most of the people in my group short. Just because I think we would just get a pullback and it'd be cool. I guess what I would look out for is this action. If we see this again, Like we hit it, we pull back, kind of bull flagged up and do that again, I would not be expecting this sell-off. At that point, I would be expecting it to break through. Now we're talking about all-time highs, which is weird because everybody said September was going to be red. Remember that chart? Everyone's like, oh, historically, September's red. Red this, red that. September 1st, like first trading day of September, we're red. I told you so. Sucks to suck, I guess. Because look where we went. Man. Anyway, if you weren't here the first trading day of September where we talked about that happening, just make sure you don't miss any other days. I promise I won't talk like that anymore. Setting up for OCT rally. Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin's in an accumulation phase. I'm just trying to think where we're going to be at tomorrow. Where's our expected move at? We're above all that. Gosh, 2 standard deviations tomorrow puts us at that zone. That's insane. At this point, to be going short or to fight this trend is like literally you parking that car on the train tracks saying, no, the train's going to stop. Like that thing, horn blaring, it's just sliding along the tracks trying to stop, and you're like, don't worry, bro. Trust me. You could get lucky. You could just get absolutely obliterated. This does make it difficult because do you want to just jump in long right here? Not necessarily. That's how you end up buying the peak. But on that same token, the worst thing you can do is buy the peak. If you have your stop managed correctly and you're just kind of playing the trend for now, you're going to get in a much lighter position anyway. And if it continues up, it builds that cushion, you add into it, you kind of lean into it, it ends up being fine. You know, if it turns around, big deal. So what? Like it literally turns around and you tag out. That's going to happen a lot. If you're going to keep doing this, it's going to happen a lot. Don't you see that sideways butter knife on that chart? It's bearish. I'm hoping so. Let's get a take profit Friday. I hope whoever is talking tomorrow, Michigan Consumer Sentiment, I hope he comes out in a Chicken Little costume and is like, this time for real, the sky is falling. Right now, it does look like Nvidia is probably just leading the way. Nvidia's leading tech. I will be impressed if tech does get above. I made it bright blue. Do we remember why we made this a blue zone? This should be yellow. I will be impressed if we get above this tomorrow. For you bears out there, here's some reassuring stuff. Help you sleep at night. Technically, it's still a lower high. Okay? So, in all fairness, this is a rip your face off rally. Bears are still in control, and it's going to melt back down. And then one day you'll wake up. I do have a couple bears, like perma bears, in my chat, so I try to look out for them. Like, what's their bearish case? How can we see things through their eyes? I don't know. I don't think if that's a lower high, it's gonna be like temporarily as we come down here and make a higher low. You know, as we make the bull flag, I would be really careful shorting. I think I think the better play, maybe the better things I should be saying to you guys right now is wait for the dip buy. Hopefully it's tomorrow. Maybe it's next week. Wait for the dip buy and then get in. Because we might just be pricing in a 25 basis point move. Everybody's getting excited. We're starting to get the cut. It's not 50 points. We're not panicking. You know, if we did 50 basis points, that is the Feds just saying we don't have control. Jesus took this wheel a while back. We're not even sure which wheel he took, but we're on this ride. You know, that's going to be rough. Any put will do. 25 basis points kind of seems a little bit more like in control. For how much you could say that. So I guess what I'm saying is this could just be a buy the rumor, sell the news event kind of thing. Like we're pricing it all in. Hey, it comes out just like we expected, and then it sells off, and then I have people coming in here on TikTok saying, why did it sell off? That should be a good thing. It's because we already priced that move in. As far as the NASDAQ goes, we're already almost there at 2 standard deviations. How wild is that? Little Russell, the little guy that could. He finally made it to that zone. Look at him go. Not even to the standard deviation. Maybe this is the sell the news situation. So I'm trying to. The reason why I hesitate to even say that, because imagine it's a sell the news situation, and we sell off at the rate decision next week, which I want to say is Wednesday. We'll pull it up right now. Wednesday, Fed rate decision. Okay, so it's Wednesday. Does that mean we run up into Wednesday? Because you know what that looks like chart-wise? We are just blasting through everything. And then we sell the news? Like that's going to put a level of volatility I don't think some of you guys have ever seen unless you traded back in 2021. That's crazy to me. Someone says, Harris wins. No tariffs on chips. Chips rippy, and green sticks. I just had to read that out loud because of the way you wrote it. What do I think about shorting Nvidia? Well, here's the thing: is I actually am a full-time trader, so I have to do things that are profitable. If you didn't pick up on that, maybe you're new. There is not the slightest chance you would catch me shorting this thing. I guess I could sell a call spread. You know, I could maybe sell like a 127, 129 call spread. Once we get a little overbought, I sell a call spread. So all it needs to do is not exceed that. It can go up there a little bit. It can go sideways and go down, and I win. It's a bearish play. That's the only way I would short this thing. In other words, don't short Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's been on an absolute tear, and maybe we could have a different conversation if it was sitting at 140 right now. But anything under 120 for me is a buy. And let me ask you this real quick. And I'm also, that's just me. I'm not a comedian. I try to be funny. Are you thinking about going short because it's just up? It just went on a rip, so you're thinking overbought? What does the really stupid indicator say? Almost overbought. If you guys didn't know, it's actually what RSI stands for. Really stupid indicator. Yes, I'd be careful with that. So what it actually stands for, relative strength index. Just think of that in general. The strength is high. It's running. There is something to it about it being so high. There's profit taking and it pulling back. But right now, this isn't the one. It's too much in the spotlight. Too many politicians are buying this. Last week was 100% just spitting in your guys' face. Oh, there's a subpoena. Just kidding. Typo. But like, why do they? You got to put yourselves in their shoes. Why are politicians? Why are they pushing this news in your face? Because they want that panic. They want the dip buy. They're not here to make $3 a share. They want the dip buy for the bigger move. No one plays those games and pays to have news published just for a couple dollars. So I don't think Nvidia's the one. It's kind of like what this reminds me of right now. Not really chart-wise, but when Nvidia goes for a run, it reminds me of Tesla back in the day. And I don't know how many people I watched come into the chat and say, I'm going to short Tesla. All right. Yeah, they would, because it's so overbought. Every day it was so overbought. And they would just get train wrecked. And they would just lose their account. Some of them told me they were shorting Tesla so much, I just don't think they actually even have an account in the first place, because there's no way they took even half or a quarter of the short positions they did and still have an account. So I appreciate you hanging out here, especially my jokes. RSI doesn't matter. I don't use it. RSI doesn't matter. You sound new. No offense. It's not that it doesn't matter. I am willing to bet most of you guys in the chat, if you use the RSI, you're using it incorrectly. And by incorrectly, I mean it's pretty basic, guys. Here's overbought. Let's blow this thing up. Here's overbought. Here's oversold. You're thinking, all right, I'm gonna sell it here. I'm gonna buy it here. Probably not the best way to be doing things, or the weight you're putting on it, way too much. Like, this is a secondary thing, like, let's say, kind of like, for instance, right now, this would actually be a decent time to ask about the RSI, because we went screaming into a zone. So, I'm thinking, hey, should I short? On any other ticker, when we come into a yellow box like this from the bottom, I'm thinking short position. So we hit this zone from the bottom and we're overbought. Like, okay, We got the short here. What kind of multipliers do we have? We got this. We got the stochastics on the MACD. They're starting to curve over. Someone that has 47,000 EMAs on their chart, one of them twisted, Like, you're just kind of like adding up who are your buyers and who are your sellers. There's 2 times I've used the RSI, I think, on YouTube. And one of them was Amazon on the weekly. And, my alerts, is that my alert still there? Never mind. Okay, so I went to Amazon on the weekly. Oh, it split. It changed everything. Or did it? I had put my alert right here because it had only ever hit that 2 times. I put my alert right. It was right here, as a matter of fact. There was a peak. And as soon as, so I just went over here, added an alert. So when the RSI got that overbought on the weekly time frame, then I went short. So far, I've done that twice, panned out both times. So it's not that it doesn't matter. It's probably not the best way to word things. It's how you're using it more than likely is wrong. I personally, I don't use any indicators. And that comes, so I've been doing this for 11 years, and I can tell you guys this. Every time an indicator works, I use it. And it's annoying because that's when I start losing money. Because I'm like, man, the RSI really worked that time. Really kind of came in clutch. Because I would love to not have to draw out zones and just watch the indicator. And then when that does its thing, I just put the money there. Like, that's perfect. Yeah, that makes my job a lot easier. And so, like, there's an indicator, RSI or MACD. It works once. Worst thing that can happen is it works twice or 3 times. Because then you just forget price action. You forget the base of everything. And that's why I just don't use them. I guess just because I'm human like the rest of you guys, and you just want to take the path of least resistance. So I just don't have it on. Broken clock problem. Yeah, but when that when you coincidentally look at a broken clock and it's noon, you're like, that clock's right. Imagine checking that clock only at noon and midnight. You think that clock's working, it's fine. And you check it later, you're late for work because it's 3 p.m., but it says 12. I shorted at the end of the day today, made about 10%, sold most of my positions, kept a few. Okay, as far as Nvidia goes, made about 10%. Not bad, good trade. Sold most of my positions, kept a few. Okay, so you're really just letting that ride. We're just kind of hoping for a pullback. I hope you kill it tomorrow because I have 118s sold against this, so I need that to reject. Come on down. Listen, I sold the 118 calls because it's 2 standard deviations down here. And we just woke up one day and was like, you know what? F Don's position. So I'm taking this one down to the wire because I know a lot of people are following me in this. It's in the account. I post all my trades. Matter of fact, can I pull that up? Because someone was asking, what's your track record? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to do this once, so pay attention. All right, so what you're seeing on screen, just going to make sure it's all there. TikTok, this is the only time you're going to see this. So focus up. Oh, shoot. 1 second. I was trying to make that bigger. All right, so your full screen. There's Cody. Hi, YouTube. Get that out of here. Don't encourage anybody. This is literally just me in here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep scrolling. This is 2 years of I got in and I got out. There's 3 or 4 losses. Let's just play it safe. 4. Double it. Say, hey, I don't care. You guys probably don't even have that track record. Anyway, there's my track record. If you want to audit it, scroll on up and audit to your little heart's content. I used to post pictures of every play, but that actually took time. It takes time to like load the picture and everything. And then by that time, people aren't in the plays. So anyway, I'm done scrolling. Anyway, 2 years for you to go jump on in and check out. That does remind me. If you click on the link tree, you'll see like my YouTube channel. You'll see the specifically right now. Maybe Casey already told you it was her job today. She had 1 job. Anyway, the Teachable link. That's going away. Not expiring coupon code or anything like that. It's gone. After this stream, you come back an hour later, not going to be there. So just so I can tell everybody I warned them, it's leaving today. So if you want that course, there it is. If not, this is absolutely your last option. Which level of Patreon is that? To any of them? Level 1 is literally just that. Level 3 is the mentorship where you have the chat and everything. $54.7% up from zero with 8 weeks left to the year. Just saying. Yeah, and this is my slowest year, by the way. I have the course, I'll still be able to access it. Yeah, everybody has it. You don't have to worry about anything. Just no more new people. That's that. Yo, homie, you doing options or what? Yeah, homie, I do it all the time. I actually do options, futures, and Forex. I guess shares. When markets get choppy, I'm probably more in futures. Trending markets, definitely more options. If we're awkwardly in between, then I do actually like some leverage ETFs like SPXL. I'm in SOXL right now, where I want the leverage, but I don't want to give myself an expiration kind of thing. Do I do day trading? What's the duration of your trade? If you just watch me scroll through all those trades, I think we've taken 2 day trades. Yeah, there's just not a lot of I can't sit and stare at charts all day. A lot of times I just take the trade. I mean, I don't actually set out the day trade or swing trade. I buy when it makes sense. I sell when it makes sense. Occasionally, that's like one of the day trades was Nvidia short play, and it was up 50%, so I just closed it. Other than that, most of them are usually the next day or a week, about a week long. Just considering what he tells me to be great financial advice. I don't give any financial advice. I'm just here sharing my opinion and calling people names. That's all. Sir, I always appreciate you helping me make financial decisions, acting as my financial advisor. No, get out of here with that. Literally none of this is financial advice. And I would just make fun of you for just randomly listening to somebody on TikTok. If you haven't been following me for a while, you're kind of silly. That's probably why most people are red in their accounts, is they do jump on a YouTube video and listen to what that person has to say with no clue. Or they look at their subscribers like, oh, he's got a bunch of subscribers. He's got to be right. Takes the play and loses all their money. Anyway. Lisa says, what's happening? Whole lot of nothing. The teachable course is leaving. Yeah, the link tree. If Lisa, there's nothing for you to worry about. Nothing's changing. It's just I'm not no more new people. That's all. Where's the liquidity on the ES? Is it slow at night, but it's hardly moving? This what move? Hang on, YouTube annoys the crap out of me. This whole move seems very trappy. On ES, if you're trading futures overnight, yeah, there's about 4 people trading it in the Tokyo market. That's about it. Yeah. This is why putting your stop, if you have your stop remotely close anywhere on an ES contract, someone will come in and just grab the whole order book, and that's why it'll be like your stop out will be the actual bottom tick of that wick, and it's because someone's like, nah, I'm just gonna take all those. So that's why it does suck trading those overnight. What percentages am I getting in my grades? Failure. Actually, failure would be good, 50%. Depends on the trade. Options, I close at 80%. If I'm selling the options, a lot of them have been 80%. Very rare that I keep it to 100. It's happened. Anything long, I just trail. I put my stop in the green, so as long as it keeps going up, I'm still in it. I don't do like the whole let's just take profit and randomly close a position. That's how you just lose money. It's an old quote, but I think it's worth saying. The market can be irrational longer than you can stay solvent. It absolutely can. And right now, last week and this week, it is proving that. Ever broke down TKO? It's a total knockout. Yeah, I have. Right here. We're testing that zone right now. Broke it down a while back, and coincidentally, here we are. There was something I wanted to say before I go. What percentage am I getting? If you're considering what you're going to do, is technician here? Am I allowed to? Again, I called him out yesterday. Technician, he follows almost all my trades. So let me just say this real quick, guys. If you ever join a call-out service, really don't listen to the person. Like, you should not listen to me if you're going to join. You should ask everybody in the chat. Everybody who's in, get the real information, not the person who's going to give you a sales pitch at all. Plus, your trades are never going to be mine. There's always that slippage of when I post it, when it loads, when it alerts your phone, when you pull that phone out of your pocket. Are you busy? When did you actually take that trade? There's always like some kind of slippage. You're always a little bit behind. I have your permission to use you. I'm going to send that picture real quick. Okay, I'll at least end it here because I just want to shout out to technician real quick. Because we did hit that milestone. Now we're talking. This was yesterday. Mentorship. Now, again, all he does is, I love when he's asking where the dividend is every 30 minutes. Let me pull this back up. Look at this milestone. Look at this milestone right here. $10,000. That is the 5 digits in the account. Can you tell where the growth account is right now? It's in Nvidia right now. So it's in Nvidia, and we're selling a bunch of calls. So this is cool because this the account he's following, the account that I post all the trades, it started from 0, right? And then we put $150 in. So again, this is a slow week. Last year was 150%. This one's probably not going to make that, but we'll see what the next couple of months bring. If September is the red month and this is our red month, then we're going to catch right up. But anyway, shout out to Technician for that. Someone says click it. Click the year date. Oh no, this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot from yesterday. I wanted this because I hit 10,000 sooner than he did. But I wanted this because it's such a realistic example of what could someone do. Like, he's missed trades. He hasn't even been in all the trades. Again, if you ever want to know, don't ask me. Ask the people that are in. You'll get the real story. How much sooner? Like months ago. I'm just kidding. You're only behind a little bit. Do I trade crypto? I buy it every week, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I do not trade it. Too much slippage, and there's fees, and but I do have to get to my mentorship group. When does he anticipate we hit another all-time highs in crypto, S&P this year or next, or not at all? Not at all. We're pretty much done. We're gonna go ahead and call her. At this pace, new all-time highs will probably be tomorrow, if not Monday morning. That's sarcasm. Bitcoin not for a bit. Bitcoin's probably gonna hang out until after the elections. All right. Any last seconds? Don stuff is gold. Don't listen to that get rich quick crap. It's a process. Yeah. The coolest thing, and the last thing before I get off here, is the person's account I just showed you. Man, he couldn't wait to click the buttons. You know, it was like like kids just want to fidget with things. Like, what are we buying? What are we selling? What are we doing today? I'm like, chill. We're just gonna make money. That's it. We're gonna take one trade for the week. That's it. You just don't need to hammer this thing out. So the coolest thing was, and watching him just learn that patience and just see it really, and this sounds cheesy, but it really is the quality of the trade versus just, let me just hammer out 9,000 trades. All right, but anyway, what do I think about Tesla right now? Thank God you asked that, because I'm going to go over Tesla, and then I'm leaving. I went long Tesla today. I thought I was going to be able to go a little bit more long. So right here at the a little bit at the bell. So I bought the 230 strike for October 18th. I think there's going to be a run up into the taxi event if he doesn't extend it. It's going to be like a typical Tesla move, a run up, buy the rumor, sell the news. Overall, I was just bullish Tesla. So I went ahead and grabbed that contract. It has a little bit of time on it. I was going to add on if we did pull back and get to this, and I still will. But right now I just have one of those contracts. If it does by chance tomorrow or Monday pull back to here, I will grab another one. But it probably needs to hit that zone within the next couple days for me to add on. But I'm kind of bullish Tesla right now. Earlier today I was really thinking about, I'm going to take a long play before Nvidia popped up, so I guess there's your answer. But I was really like 50-50. Like, should I do Nvidia or should I grab Tesla? They're both bullish. I just wanted to have allocation a little bit more into one. I ended up choosing Tesla. But both of those, I'm pretty bullish on. Mentorship. I signed up around this time last year. Wish I followed Don a lot sooner. True. No, I appreciate that. My P&L on the week says Tesla. All right, shout out to everybody that did follow me. It looks like 11 of you guys followed me this time. I got 11 new followers. Shout out to you guys on that. 2,000 likes. Do me a huge favor, guys. Hit the follow, the share, all the buttons. Mentorship group, don't go anywhere. We're going to jump on Zoom right now. Everyone else, you will see me for sure Sunday. I'll try to throw in something else. Anyway, have a good one.